Talking about the Russian investment climate, and no one better to discuss the Russian investment climate than with the new CEO of Russia's direct investment fund, Kirill Dmitriev. Thank you very much for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
Look, you've got this $10 billion direct investment fund, a new initiative from the Kremlin to encourage private equity, sovereign wealth to invest in Russia when so far, up until now, they've been rather shy. Has anybody offered up any money for, or suggested that they're going to give any money for these projects yet?
Yes, we had a very good meeting. We had investors of about $2 trillion managing the largest private equity funds and sovereign wealth funds. And they met on May 18th with Mr. Putin. And following that meeting, a couple of leading investors made very important statements. So Chairman Lu Jiwei of Chinese Investment Corporation, which manages $300 billion,
said that he them on board.
Very much likes the concept and would like to invest in it. Badr Al-Saad, who manages Kuwait Investment Authority, $250 billion under management, said that they have $600 million invested in Russia now, but they want to increase it dramatically, and this fund can be a vehicle to do so. Right. So lots of investors really like the concept.
I know that the investors would be co-investing with the Kremlin through this fund in specific projects, and you actually haven't got any projects determined yet. But have you gotten any suggestions of how much people, in terms of the money, how much they might be able to commit? Like the Chinese, for example.
Sure. Well, I think it's difficult to go about individual investors, but what we believe is that the fund investing $10 billion over the next 5 years will bring at least $50 billion of co-investment from sovereign funds and private equity funds into the Russian economy.
And that's sorely lacking. I mean, basically, there is no sovereign wealth investment really in Russia right now, is there?
Yeah, we have a very interesting dilemma, because people believe that in Russia it's possible to make a very good return, but they really need to have a partner to do so.
They're worried about getting burned.
Exactly, and I think Russian Direct Investment Fund can be that partner where Russian government is sharing risks with foreign investors by putting their money alongside with them and not investing unless they invest as well. So it's really a win-win situation.
And when do you expect to announce your first deal, the first project that you're going to target?
We believe we'll announce the first transaction by the end of the year. We already have lots of interest, and lots of people are coming to us with some deal ideas. We're thinking about agriculture, healthcare, lots of very interesting high-growth sectors in Russia.
Not commodities.
Not commodities so much, even though we have no restriction. We can do transaction in any sector. But we believe that infrastructure is a very interesting sector, growing middle class are very interesting sectors, so no restrictions.
I guess I have to ask, with all of the foreign investors or foreign companies that have come into Russia and gotten burned, I mean, I could sort of go through the whole laundry list of Shell at one point, BP, at least a couple of times. What, other than the Kremlin's guarantee out there in the investment climate, what can Russia do to get this investment coming into the country?
Yeah, I think, this is not a substitution for different institutional measures that Russia is taking. And the President and Prime Minister are very vocal about the need to improve investment climate. And there are lots of initiatives being taken. Taxes are being reduced for capital investments. Lots of work is done on courts. So this is not a substitution for those efforts. But I think to jumpstart this investment, it's very important for people to have partner in Russia. And it's very specific that, the fund is focused on returns. And Mr. Putin was very vocal that the fund is about returns. And if people can make good return in Russia, they will invest much more going forward.
Kirill Dmitriev.